Good morning and welcome to the Sports Desk along with producer Alden Iwani. I'm Ed Nunez. Our special guest today is Pittsburgh Steelers tight end Zach Gentry. Zach, welcome to the show. Thanks so much for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. I'm excited about it. I appreciate you.
You know, it's funny, Zach. You know, I told you your father and I know you probably get tired of me telling you we're classmates in 1980. And every time I look at you more and more, you're looking more and more like him, man. And again, a great man. You've got a great mother. A great family union, and your father, just a special person. Again, your whole family is. You come from great people, man, no question about it. But, you know, Zach, you're entering your third year as a Pittsburgh Steelers tight end, and you'll be in a camp here shortly. You were a fifth-round pick of the Pittsburgh Steelers, and you've got so far one catch for 4 yards, but you've got some opportunities you feel coming up that's exciting for you, exciting for the team. You know, we're going to cover a little bit of your career with Eldorado, though. You played for Eldorado, and you were the Gatorade Player of the Year in 2014 under Charlie Dotson. And you were the quarterback then. And you had one heck of a senior season with Eldorado. As an Eldorado Eagle, you had 125 rushes for 904 yards, 150 of 246 passing, for 2,231 yards and 21 touchdowns your senior year. You know, so we've got some film we're going to get up here for you in a minute here at Eldorado. But you had a great senior season there with Coach Dotson. And if you think about the coaches you've had, Coach Dotson, Coach Harbaugh, and now Coach Tomlin in the pros, you were around some good people. What's your recollections of Coach Dotson?
Oh, I have a lot of great memories with Coach Dotson. You know, really high energy guy, knows how to get you motivated, and he has been doing it for a long time at Eldorado, you know. And I think just this last season I was able to watch them play La Cueva because of the COVID spring pushback, and I think he got his 100th victory against them as the Eldorado Eagle coach this last spring. And you know, I have a great relationship with him. I go and still work out at Eldorado all the time, so I see him several times a week, and we always chat. And yeah, I mean, like I'm tomorrow night, I think Eldorado is taking part in a 7-on-7 at Cleveland. So I'm probably going to go watch that because I like to watch football. And you know, I really don't have anything better to do. I work out and I think about football, so probably go watch them. But yeah, great memories with Coach Dotson, and very lucky to win a lot of games with him.
I believe you guys came up short when you were a senior, losing in the semifinals, I believe. You lost in the semifinals. But, you know, you played quarterback. Your father played quarterback. And people might have forgot that. Your dad didn't get to throw the ball. I always say that. You know, there's some great quarterbacks at Highland before your dad. Your dad was a solid quarterback. Kurt McGill, Curtis Spencer, Glenn Russell, Rusty Griffin. There's some really good quarterbacks. But your grandfather, the legendary Bill Gentry, wasn't going to throw the ball more than 5 to 7 times a game, if that. Maybe 8 times a game might have been a lot. So your dad didn't get to throw as much as you did. And these modern offenses today, the spread game things like that, when you were a quarterback in high school, did you guys ever talk about your father and you talk about, like, did your dad ever say, hey, look, I wish I could have thrown the ball as much as you did?
You know, not he didn't really say that a whole lot. I think he really was a big believer of the wing tee. I did spend a lot of time with my dad growing up and with my brother. I can remember even when I was in elementary school or going to the park with him and my brother after school, you know, as soon as he got home from work, and we would do ladder drills and sprint work, and we'd be throwing the ball, working on our drop backs and throwing outs and slants and stuff. So, I mean, as far as I can remember, I've been working with him, and I guess I'm lucky in that way that he was a high school quarterback and son of a coach, so that he could work with me, even in the football offseason, even as a, you know, like I said, a little kid, an 8-year-old. I think that really helped out my development a lot too.
He was a lefty. I remember that. He's a lefty, and you know, the size. Your dad is about 5'11", 6 feet. Because I'm 6'1", I might have a half inch on your father, and your size comes from your mom's side. You know, so you know, so I met your Uncle Billy, and your grandfather. Of course, I know your Aunt Marcy. I just met them last week. But the size comes from your mom's side, man, because you know, you're 6'7", 275. And when I tell you, remember, Zach, I've been around a lot of basketball players, man. I've seen 6'10", 6'11". But when I see you, even today, I'm like, wow, when does it stop? I mean, you've got the size for sure. And you're going into your third year. Talk about right now what you're working on before you go to camp as far as conditioning, nutrition, things like that. Because you're working out at Eldorado. I saw you one time years ago at Define Fitness. You're still staying on top of your game, trying to maintain your physique. Talk about the challenges of that a little bit.
It's since it's been my job, and since I've been playing football for so long, it kind of just becomes routine, and to where it feels bizarre. If you don't get a workout in, or even if I go on vacation or something, you still have to figure out a way to get that work in, whether it's at a local gym or the gym hotel even or something. So, I really actually enjoy working out. I enjoy lifting. I enjoy the conditioning aspect of it because, it's something I need to do. If you show up less than prepared for camp in the NFL and you're not conditioned, then, you're probably going to lose your job. And so there's always a little extra motivation there, but I'm lucky because it's easy when I come home, but I have the Eldorado gym and I have, even areas around town, like the dam on top of Indian School up in the foothills is a really steep, long dam I like to run up. And it's nice to come home and get to work out in high elevation, because by the time I get back to Pittsburgh or when I would go back to Michigan, I felt like I was really in top shape from just being in a higher altitude.
Where's the camp at? Your camp, your preseason camp is held where?
So it's going to be in Pittsburgh this year. We're just going to do it at the stadium and in our Rooney training facility. But normally, in a normal, if COVID didn't exist, we'd be in Latrobe, Pennsylvania, which is about an hour, a little over northeast of Pittsburgh at St. Vincent College. We usually do it there.
Is there a specific diet that the Pittsburgh Steelers give you that they want you to eat, or is there certain things? Nutrition is important, and you're a big guy, right? You want to maintain that physique, but I'm sure you're not just packing carbs in. What's the kind of things once in a while you do, because you have to, right? You got to replace, got to hydrate, things like that. What kind of diet are you trying to maintain before camp starts?
Yeah, I'm just trying to maintain a consistent one. I think I like where I'm at weight-wise right now. So, there's really not a whole lot to it. Just like I said earlier with the working out stuff, as long as I've been playing football already, that you kind of know what to put in your body and what not to. So that the nutritionist is obviously available if, we need some help, and he's a phone call away. But for the most part, I just do a good job of eating a big breakfast before I work out. Lunch, I usually have a bunch of fruits and vegetables and some sort of like big meat sandwich or something. I get some carbs, some protein, and the veggies and fruit, and kind of the same thing with dinner. I do get to treat myself when I'm home on Friday nights. We like to go out for some New Mexican food or something like that. So I always look forward to Friday nights when I'm home.
I think it's important for people that you're wondering, like a professional athlete, right? What do they eat, right? And you have to like you said, fruits and vegetables. You just can't eat pizza all the time. You're working out all the time and burning a lot of those calories off. We asked you this on Sunday on the radio on 99.9, and we talked about the COVID restrictions, the COVID challenges. And I know I'm going to ask you again, but talk a little bit about that last year, about how tough it was to take the test. You said every day. You've got a 53-man roster. You're supposed to maintain 6 feet on the field. Did you have to wear masks? You played in front of empty stadiums at times. It had to be kind of strange. Talk to us a little bit about the challenges of COVID in last year's 2020 season.
Yeah, it was really challenging and really bizarre. It affected the whole world. It affected everybody's job, including mine. So, it was tough. Like you said, like I said the other day, I got COVID tested every single day from mid-July last year to the end of January, early February this year. And so, off days, everything is our responsibility to go in and get tested. If we didn't get tested, if we missed one, we'd get fined a lot of money. So it was of the utmost importance to go get that done for yourself and for the organization. And trying to maintain the 6 feet distance was tough too, because we're playing football. We had to wear masks in the facility and during walkthroughs. We didn't have to wear them during practice, but it was a challenge. It was a challenge. You couldn't eat in the dining hall. You had to grab and go food. And of course, like you said, the stadiums were empty for most of the season. There were only a couple games, I think, in Pittsburgh where, we had, I think, like 5,000 people there, which, isn't generating a whole lot of noise. So it was bizarre. It felt like we were, especially the first couple of games when we weren't used to it. It felt like we were, on a practice field with another team, and you could hear everything that was going on. So it was bizarre. It didn't feel like we were playing in front of a crowd, even though we were probably playing in front of 10 or 11 million people watching on TV, but it was definitely bizarre.
And you played in Michigan. What's the largest number of people you played in front of? Over 100,000, right? Over 100,000 in Michigan and Ann Arbor, right? You played in front of over 100,000 people.
Yeah, I think the highest attendance we had when I was there was around 115 or 116,000.
So going from that to having no fans in the stands, and you said to me the other day, you could hear everything on the field, and the fans hype you up, right? We saw a touchdown pass you caught from Mason Rudolph in preseason, and I saw how pumped up you were about that when fans were in the stands. So for a guy that played in front of over 100,000 to all of a sudden silence, it's eerie, I'm sure. Still had a job to do, but it had to have been a little bit strange. I'm sure you're looking forward to this coming season where there'll be hopefully full stadiums.
No doubt. And like you said, the fans bring in a ton of energy, and it's not only special for us, but it's special for the fans as well. There's a lot of diehard Pittsburgh Steelers fans and fans all over the country at every level. And so it'll be good to get back to the normal full capacity stadiums. Teams can have home field advantage again a little bit. I think this last season was the first time in NFL history that home teams had a combined losing record. So it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. And yeah, definitely excited for the electricity of the crowd noise.
Well, the Steelers have won 6 Super Bowls, right? And the one thing I remember is those towels, man, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm not a Steeler fan, but because of you, hey, you know what? I can't say I'll ever wear a Pittsburgh Steelers shirt, but when you're on the field, I'm going to be definitely cheering and watching for sure, man. And we mentioned the other day, Mike Tomlin has 146 wins as the Steeler coach, I believe. And it's a funny thing, Zach. I don't know if you knew this. Since 1969, Chuck Noll, Bill Cowher, and Mike Tomlin are the only 3 coaches Pittsburgh has had. Mike mm-hmm. Tomlin has been the coach since January 2007, one of the longest tenured coaches in the league. When we get back after this break, we'll ask you what his I think the world of the guy. I really do. You don't last that long in the NFL. It stands for not for long, right? And he's been in the league for a long time. So when we get back, we'll ask you some questions about Coach Tomlin, Coach Harbaugh after these messages on the Sports Desk.
Here's a 1-2. That's lifted, well hit into the gap. This might clear the bases. It's going to bounce off the wall, and it will clear the bases. A bases clearing double off the bat of Nico Barella. Got the glove on it. Squeezes for a second. That's tapped on the ground. Might be academic. They'll flip it to first in time for the double play ball. Huge lead. There's the pitch. It's low. Runner going on a delayed steal, and he's going to be out at second. One-two. The runner moving. It's pulled down the line. This might be trouble, and it's a fair ball. Sandoval coming around. Coach Pineda going to send him to the plate. Here comes the tying run, and he scores. Sandoval. The throw gets away. Cooper will go to second base, and we're all tied at 6 as Sandoval scampers in. Hit so far. That ball is driven deep to right center field, and it's gone. Second home run of the inning for the Cougars. They've got 5 runs in, and Civila has come roaring back here at the top of the 3rd inning. 2-run home run for Jalen Montez. Long look in. There's a pitch. That's in the air. In shallow right. Very aggressive is Gerard Pineda. Well, the play at the plate. Oh, what a hose in right. The ball was waiting for him as he came home, and he was dead to rights.
2-2, nobody out. 2 runs in. There's the pitch, and that's up the middle. No, right to Francois. Back to second for a double play. That's a good play by Francois. And 0-1 to Araceli Morales. There's the pitch. Morales swings, hits to Vela. What a catch by Vela in right field. Vela coming to her, running to her left and diving.
This one swing, it's going to go straight. Let's see if it falls, and it looks like the catch was made, and indeed it was for the third out. Sprawling was Kayla Reed for the third out. What a play. Garcia prepares, deals, and she swings it. This one looks ding dong doink. Yabba dabba doo. Grand slam by Mia Flores. Four ribbies for Mia as she just unleashed on that softball.
Welcome back to the Sports Desk. I'm Ed Nunez, along with producer Alden Ioane, our special guest, Pittsburgh Steelers tight end Zach Gentry. And there's some highlights when you played at Eldorado High School, Zach. There you breaking one down the sideline, taking it to the house. Can you see that?
Yeah.
And there's some more highlights when you were wearing the burnt orange. You remember this play, Zach?
I do. That was a breakdown in the backfield. We were able to slip one by with the confusion on the defense.
Another one taking it to the house. There's out of the pistol, I believe. Well, I tell you what, there's another long touchdown run there. That's got to be some great memories there. Great job by our producer, Alden Ioane, in digging these highlights up. I believe that's at Michigan, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And you had over 800 yards in receiving it. You converted to a tight end. You will talk about that in a second. There's some more highlights here. Catch over the middle there at Michigan, I believe. And there's another one over the middle there. And there's taking one in the end zone right there as a Michigan tight end. That must have been exciting to play in front of those crowds, Zach, I'll tell you.
Yeah, no doubt. Those are definitely the most electric crowds I'll probably ever play in front of, unless I make it to a Super Bowl.
I'll tell you, those Steeler fans, though, man. But yeah, the Michigan's college fans are very special. There's no question about that. They really are. They're some of the best fans in the country. There's a slant over the middle. You're coming up with the first down sign. You got a big smile, Zach. You remember that one, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, great job by her. Oh, man. And I think that's against Nebraska, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was a fun game.
And some more highlights there against the Cornhuskers. And Michigan played, again, some of the best competition in the country there. And we mentioned Jim Harbaugh, 49-22 there in his 10-year as head coach, and you got a touchdown there in the end zone. And for some people, that's not enough, right? They remember Bo Schembechler, Lloyd Carr, and they want and they want to beat Ohio State every year, and they haven't had great success in doing that, to be honest. But they've gotten to bowl games, but Ohio State, they always measured against Ohio State, right? Is that fair to say? Michigan is always success is measured against Ohio State.
Yeah, exactly. And like I was talking to you during the break, they, a lot of times I think the locals in Michigan and the people who went there would rather us go 3-9 and beat Ohio State than go 11-3 and lose to them, which is a weird thing, but that's just the way it goes. It's just the hatred they all have for him.
Woody Hayes, the ex-Ohio State coach, wouldn't even buy gas in Michigan. He would not buy gas in that state. So that hatred goes back right on both sides for years. And again, more highlights there. But I want to ask you this while we're watching these highlights. You came out of Eldorado as a quarterback. You were committed to Tech. I talked about this the other day. Decided to go to Michigan after Jim Harbaugh visits your house. Takes you to Hinkle Family Fun Center. And what a scene that must have been, seeing Coach Harbaugh. People are like, wow, what's he doing here? How did they convince you, or how did he convince you, a former quarterback at Michigan and with Chicago Bears in the pros, to make that position change? Because I'm telling you, when you're the quarterback, you're the man, right? Zach, you're the man. There's no doubt about it. You're a 4-star recruit coming out of New Mexico. How did Coach Harbaugh sell you on changing that position, changing positions to tight end?
Well, I definitely wasn't sold at first. I was pretty upset about it, because I had only played tight end or quarterback my entire career. And so I was pretty upset about it, especially after they recruited me so hard to be a quarterback. And that's kind of what I envisioned myself being. And he was just real persistent with, telling me, you got to stick it out. You got to trust the process, trust what I see and what I believe. And he was really adamant about the fact that, if I stuck it out, that I would be able to play tight end in the NFL. And so there were a lot of growing pains. I mean, my first year at Michigan, I really didn't have, I was kind of in a gray area. I was still throwing with the quarterbacks in pregame warmups, probably to avoid some media attention. And I was running like receiver during the week to get used to running routes. I really wasn't even a tight end yet the first 2 seasons. And so it was definitely a long, difficult road, because like I said, I was in a gray area there for a couple of years. I didn't know exactly what was going on. I just kind of had to trust that he really did have faith in me at tight end, and it ended up working out. But I was definitely hesitant for a while.
All third Big Ten in 2018 as a tight end, drafted by the Steelers, as we mentioned, in the 5th round. And going into your 3rd year, and we talked about this a little bit on Sunday, you're coming into your 3rd year, got a new offensive coordinator in Mike Canada, maybe some different opportunities. You had a tight end retire on the roster, and that's going to probably move you up the depth chart. First game is against the Dallas Cowboys in the Hall of Fame game here on August 21st, I believe. So how excited are you for this season, upcoming season? You mentioned the other day, too, working with Ben Roethlisberger, the quarterback who's entering his 18th season, 39 years old, right? He's coming off a season that maybe wasn't the best one for him. What do you think he's got left? How do you feel about your connection with him?
I mean, I feel great. I mean, I in my 3 years there so far, I never felt closer to Ben. I mean, he's, I think we're really at that point now where he's trusting me. I mean, I've always, it's always been kind of everybody else's job to make sure that they get up to Ben's standard. Since he's been doing it for so long, he's a future Hall of Famer. And I feel like I'm there. Ben has really, made it a point to go out of his way to, make good friends with me and stay after and throw the ball. And, he does throw me the ball a lot. And, and it's nice to have more of a personal relationship with him off the field too. Been over to his house a couple times this off season and, joke around with him and stuff. And so I'm really like where I'm at as far as that goes. I think it's obviously important to have a good connection with the quarterback. And I think that comes with trust, especially at the NFL level. And that's why I'm excited about this season, man, because I feel like he and I are really on the same page.
You mentioned your tight ends coach, Alfredo Roberts, the former Miami Hurricane, the former Dallas Cowboys, got himself a Super Bowl ring, was a heck of a good blocking tight end back in the day. What's his word on your development? How has he helped you develop as a tight end? Put it like that, because he was pretty solid when he played. How has he helped you?
I mean, he's helped me a lot through OTAs and minicamp. He has a lot of energy, He has a lot of energy, and like you were saying, he playing the position at the University of Miami and going and playing in the league for a while. I think he played like 7 years or something. I mean, he knows exactly what he's talking about, and he played the position. He played at the highest level, and so just more than anything, I noticed like the little intricacies and like the little tips he gives you, because I mean, he played for so long, and he knows, you know, what's going to work and what's not going to work. And he's been a coach for a long time too, and he's won at the highest level. Like you said, he won a couple. I think he won at least one national championship at Miami, and then, you know, he's got a Super Bowl, maybe two. So that's a great guy to learn from.
Who's been that one guy in the Pittsburgh locker room that's shown you what it's like to be a pro? You came in as a rookie in 2019. Rookies have to earn their way in any professional league. Who's been that guy in the Pittsburgh locker room that kind of took you under their wing, said, Zach, here's how things are done, or shown you the ropes, so to speak, maybe, you know, to help you succeed?
Yeah, there were a couple names come to mind from starting out as a rookie. Vance McDonald, tight end that just retired. You know, he's spent a long time in the league. I think he might have played 8 or 9 years. He really helped me out. And then David DeCastro and Al Villanueva on the offensive line, and Marquise Pouncey as well. I think those 3 offensive linemen kind of took me under their wing too, and you know, really went out of their way to form a personal relationship with me as long as a business one, and really helped me along and kind of showed me the practice etiquette and, you know, off the field and what to do and how to be responsible and stay around for as long as I can.
It always helps to have those veteran tips, and maybe you'll pass them on to another young player once you've had some tenure in the league. Tell us how it is to block Myles Garrett, to block Von Miller. Myles Garrett, they showed him online playing basketball. He had to stop playing basketball. They made him stop. He's slamming over everybody. What an athlete, right? Tell us what it's like to block a guy like this guy. It's a lot of blocking responsibilities for a tight end, right? A lot of blocking responsibilities. Tell us how it is to block this guy coming off the edge. Tell what kind of technique you have to use against a guy like Myles Garrett or even Von Miller.
Yeah, I mean, somebody asked me the other day who I thought the 2 best defensive players that I played against are, and I think it probably would be Myles Garrett and Von Miller through 2 seasons. I mean, they're just freak athletes, you know. They're guys that you have to game plan around. They're big, fast, physical. They're guys that, you know, there's a lot of guys in the NFL that you'd rather run block against than pass set against. And with these guys, it's like, you know, it's tough sledding either way. You know, if you're getting a stalemate at the line of scrimmage, that's a win because the ball can run off of you. Probably get some help in pass protection with a running back chipping or something. But I mean, those guys are studs, obviously. Pro bowlers, all pro players. And so it's definitely a challenge for anybody in the league to get a hold of those guys. And unfortunately, we have to play Myles twice a year, and we have to play Von Miller again this year for the 2nd year in a row.
He's coming off a knee injury. Von Miller didn't play last year, but he's going to be loaded for bear, right? And every snap has got to be, you know, right? It's a challenge every single snap playing against guys like that, I'm sure. I want to ask you this, too, going forward and going this year. You mentioned Coach Tomlin. He's been there 14 years. What makes him so successful? You're going into your 3rd year as a Steeler tight end. What makes him so successful? He's been there 14 years. NFL coaches normally don't last that long, right? And he's got a long tenure, almost as long as Bill Cowher. And Chuck Noll was there for a long time. Only 3 coaches to be mentioned since 1969. In your opinion, what makes Mike Tomlin such a great coach?
I mean, I think it comes down to the fact that he's just a very respectable guy. I mean, like, everybody in the locker room has respect for him. Nobody, you know, there's no gray area about where, you know, he stands with you. He's a fan of all of his players. He likes the success of everybody. He's approachable. He's easy to talk to. Off the field, you can talk to him about any issues that are going on the field. I mean, he knows football so well. I mean, it's really super impressive to hear him, you know, break down an opponent defense at the depth that he does, and then turn around and do the same thing with their offense. And it's like he is literally coaching the team that we're scouting. I mean, he really is a brilliant football mind. And then, like I said, at the same time, everybody respects him because there's no gray area with him. You know, he's always a straight shooter. I mean, he's not a BSer. You know, there's some guys out there that are going to lie to you or, you know, do you wrong. And he's just not that guy. He really is a stand-up coach. And I think it really just comes down to the respect that everybody has for him.
He's won 2 Super Bowls. I think people forget that. Chuck Noll won 4. Mike Tomlin's won 2. Pittsburgh's got 6 Super Bowl rings. You know, so Zach Gentry, I'll tell you, you're going to camp July 20th. We wish you all the luck in the world. We'll be watching out for you. We sure appreciate you joining us. I'd love to have you on the radio the other day. Best of luck this season.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me on.
You bet. For producer Alden Iowani, I'm Ed Nunez. We'll see you in 2 weeks on the Sports Desk.